Hello, sixth graders. So today's lesson is called Dividing Mixed Numbers. Remember, you're going to need to split screen this video with the actual slideshows in Google Classroom. So go ahead and pause the video, open that, and then catch back with me in the next slide. So our objective is that we will use reciprocals and multiplication to divide mixed numbers and whole numbers. And we talked about reciprocals yesterday. And then I will divide mixed numbers and whole numbers. So we did dividing fractions, now we're doing dividing mixed numbers and whole numbers. So we learned previously that to find the reciprocal of a number, all you do is flip the fraction, right? Okay, same thing is happening here, except we have to first make our mixed number into a fraction. So it says here, to find the reciprocals, wrong button. To find the reciprocals of a mixed number, change the mixed number into an improper fraction. So 1 2/5, we would go all around the world. We would multiply 5 times 1. So 5 times 1 equals 5, and then add 2, which equals 7. That's our numerator, and our 5 would be our denominator. So as an improper fraction, 1 2/5 is 7 over 5. But we're not done yet. That is not the reciprocal yet. We then have to flip it. So 5 over 7 is actually the reciprocal of 1 2/5. They look very different, but that is the reciprocal. So let's do this one down here. So we have 2 2/9. First thing you have to do, remember, is we have to make it an improper fraction. So let me draw my arrows. Multiplication, addition. So I have 9 times 2 equals 18. Then I'm going to add that 2, that's my numerator, which equals 20. So 20 is my new numerator. My denominator stays the same, so it's 9. But am I done yet? No, I have to then flip it. So my reciprocal is actually going to be 9 over 20. So I want you to go ahead, pause the video, try to find the reciprocal of 3 1/8 and 1 4/5. Okay, hopefully you were able to solve it. Let's go through what I got the answers to be. So here I have 3 1/8. I went all around the world and I did 8 times 3, which is 24. And then I added 1, which equals 25. So I have 25 over 8, but I'm not done yet. I got to then flip it. So the reciprocal would be 8 over 25. Then for 1 4/5, I did 5 times 1, which is 5, plus 4 more, which is 9. And I got 9 over 5. Denominator stays the same. And then I was not done yet because I had to then flip it, and I got 5 over 9ths. So those fractions that are written in blue are the reciprocals of all of those mixed numbers. So now let's actually divide these, okay? So here we have 4 1/4 divided by 3/4, right? Before we can do anything, if we have a mixed number, we first have to change it into an improper fraction. So 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 more is 17. That's why 17 is my numerator. My denominator stays the same, 17 over 4. And then I'm going to write divided by 3/4. I need to rewrite the problem just like that. Then I'm going to divide by a fraction. Here's that tip: keep, change, flip. I keep the 17 over 4 the same way. Division changes to multiplication. And I'm going to flip only my second fraction. Notice that I did not flip my first fraction. Please do not flip your first fraction. And then we're going to multiply. 17 times 4 is 68. 4 times 3 is 12. This is not going to be my final answer yet because I have a bigger numerator than a denominator. I need to change it into a mixed number. So I'm going to put 68 inside the house, and I'm going to divide it by 12. 12 goes into 68 5 times. 5 times 12 is 60. 68 minus 60 is 8. To get my answer, remember my whole number, my big whole number goes on top. So it's going to be 5 and 8 over 12. 5 and 8 over 12. But I notice that 8 and 12 have a common factor of 4. So I divided my numerator and my denominator by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So my final answer is 5 2/3. So let's go ahead and try this one together. 3 1/5 divided by 1 1/7. All right, first thing we got to do is go all around the world. So let me go ahead and draw my arrows. Okay, so I'm going to do 5 times 3, which is 15, plus 1 more, which is 16. So that's my numerator. My denominator would be 5. Awesome. Then I'm going to write my division sign. Notice I have another mixed number. I got to go all around the world on that one too. So I'm going to do 7 times 1, which equals 7. And then I'm going to add 1, which equals 8. Remember, if I'm going a little bit too fast for you, can always pause the video and rewind it. So 8's going to be my numerator, and 7 will be my denominator. All right, now that I have two improper fractions, I can now do to divide by a fraction. Here's a tip. Keep that first fraction the same, change division to multiplication, and flip my second fraction. So now it's 7 over 8. And now I can just multiply. So 16 times 7. I have no idea what 16 times 7 is, so I'm going to do it up here. 16 times 7. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 more is 11. So I got 112. And then 5 times 8 is 40. So now I'm going to try to divide. I'm going to say 112 divided by 40 equals what? So 112 goes in the house. 40 goes outside of it. Can 40 go into 1? Nope. Can it go into 11? Not at all. But it can go into 112. Let me think. How many times? I'm going to try 2. Because I know that 2 times 40 is 80. 2 minus 0 is 2. Going to borrow from here. 11 minus 8 is 3. So since I'm done here, I want to make it a mixed number. I'm going to draw my arrows here. So my whole number is 2. My numerator is 32. My denominator is 40. Now I'm going to zoom in because I want to make sure that 32 and 40 don't have any common factors. If they do, I need to divide. So let me check. I know that 1 times 32 equals 32. 8 times 4. 2 times 16. I think that's it. For 40, I definitely know that 5 times 8 equals 40. That one's simple. Then 2 times 20 and 1 times 40. I think I've got most of them. Okay, I'm looking and I'm seeing that I do have a common factor. I wrote an 8 on both of these lists. So I need to divide my 32 and my 40 by 8. So I'm going to do 32 over 40 divided by 8 divided by 8. And that's going to equal 4, because 32 divided by 8 is 4, and 40 divided by 8 is 5. Is my final answer 4/5? Oh, no, it's not. I got to remember my whole number that I had here of 2. So my final answer would actually be 2 and 4/5 after I simplify my fraction. So I want you to go ahead and try out the bottom one, 1 1/2 divided by 2 1/4. Pause the video and then try it out. So I hope that you were able to figure out the second problem. I went ahead and did it. I'm going to go through with you guys and see what I just did. So here I changed my changed my mixed numbers into improper fractions. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So I have my 3 as my numerator. My denominator stays the same, so it's going to be a 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. My numerator is going to be 9. Denominator stays the same, it's going to be 4. And remember, our division is going to still be a division sign because we haven't done keep, change, flip yet. But now we're going to do keep, change, flip. All right. So to divide by a fraction, here's a tip. We're going to keep the 3/2. We're going to change division to multiplication. And we're going to flip 9 over 4 to be 4 over 9. And now we're ready to multiply. So 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 9 is 18. And notice my numerator is not bigger than my denominator. So I don't have to divide like we did up here. I'm just going to find the greatest common factor and divide that way. So I listed out the common factors, the factors of 12 and the factors of 18. And I found that my common factor here was 3. So I did 12 divided by 3 and 18 divided by 3. 12 divided by 3, oh, it's not, wait a second, I definitely made a mistake here. My greatest common factor isn't 3, it's actually 6. I just noticed that. Making mistakes means I'm learning, so it's actually 6. Let me erase this and do this one more time. Do it with you guys. All right. And I also divided wrong, so that was really weird. All right, let's try this again. So 6 is my greatest common factor. So I did 12 divided by 6 and 18 divided by 6. And 12 divided by 6 is 2, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. So my final answer is actually 2/3. Those of you that caught the mistake earlier, bravo to you. And it's okay to make mistakes. We all know that. So please go ahead and do the exit ticket after you're finished.